Hi, fourth graders. It's Mrs. Somick here, and we are going to continue on with our learning target that is focusing on how we're going to actually summarize with our fiction selections. Now, we talked yesterday about what makes a good summary. Okay, now what we focused on with our version of Little Red Riding Hood was that a summary only includes information from the passage or from the book. There's no additional information that is needed. Okay, we also know if we're using our 5 key details, the important information that we pull out here as we go on to these last bullets is that we need to focus on those words somebody, who are our characters, wanted, what were they wanting, but what was that main problem, so how did they solve it, and then how did that story finally end? What was the resolution? Okay. Now, today's focus, we're going to move over here to the second bullet, and we want to talk about how a good summary really explains what the author or characters are actually thinking. It does not include your opinion. Now, of course, we're going to have an opinion about the characters we're reading, but that should not be included in our summary. Now, if you're following along with me, you can have out your reading packet as we move on to page 14. Sorry, it took me a second to find it. Page 14. That is what we are on for today. So again, what's our focus for today? We're going to focus that summaries do not include our opinion. Okay? Now, on page 14, you're going to see here that I have a little selection about a young boy named Christoph. Now, I'm going to read it aloud to you. And again, I want you to think when we finish, who's my somebody? What did he want? But what was his problem? How did he try to solve it? And how did the story finally end? Okay, that's going to help you pull out the key information that you need in your summary. Now remember, what are we leaving out? Our opinions. All right, follow along as I'm reading, please. Christoph woke up and found $20 and a birthday card from his grandmother on his bedside table. What's going on? Christoph thought to himself. It's not my birthday. He took the money downstairs and asked his mom about it. That's weird, his mom said. Nana must have forgotten that your birthday is May 24th, not March 24th. She has been getting more forgetful lately. Leave the money with me, and I'll give it back to Nana. Christoph grumpily handed the money to his mom. He had been hoping his mom would let him keep the money so he could buy a new video game. Even though he had to return the money, this mistake his grandmother made gave him a great idea. He thought through his plan on the bus ride to school, and when he got to his classroom, he went straight to his teacher and shouted, "Today's my birthday. I'm 10 years old today." His teacher gave him a big smile and said, "Happy birthday, Christoph. Why don't you get the birthday chair ready?" Christoph grinned to himself. His teacher had believed his lie. Now he was going to sit in the special birthday chair all day, and his friends would have to be extra nice to him. He might even be able to convince the lunchroom monitor to give him a second dessert. This is going to be the best day ever, Christoph thought to himself. Throughout the day, everyone treated him like a king. His best friend gave him a package of dry erase markers that had erasers on the end. During PE, he got to be the team captain and tell everyone on his basketball team what to do. After lunch, the whole class sang happy birthday to Christoph, and then he got to sit in the squishy chair during reading time. Thanks to his grandmother's memory loss, Christoph had a great day. Okay, so let's think through those key ideas. Who's our character? It's Christoph, right? And what was Christoph wanting? He really wanted to keep that money that his grandmother had mistakenly given him. But what did his mom do? Think back to the story. Then on your own, think through, okay? If we know what the problem was, what his mom made him to do, okay? How did he try to go back and solve it? So what did he do? And then how does the story end? Okay, hope you thought about those key details. And again, you can use page 14 to keep flipping back to if you need to refer back to the passage. Now, what we're going to do today together on page 15 in your packet, and if you don't want to rewrite these little facts here, these little events in the story, you can just number them and tell me which ones belong where. Okay, let's look through them together. This first one, Christoph made a bad choice when he lied to everybody about his birthday. Now, is that something that should be included in our summary? Well, I agree. I think it was a bad choice. It's always a bad choice to lie, right? But that sounds like my opinion, doesn't it? And do we include opinions in a summary? No, we do not. I may agree with that opinion, but it does not need to be in my summary. Let's go on to the next. Christoph told his teacher that it was his birthday when it wasn't really his birthday. Is that something that occurred? Was that something we talked about when someone wanted, but so then? I think it was. So that actually needs to be included in our summary. Next, Christoph let his best friend give him dry erase markers. He was a bad friend. Is that something we talked about in one of the events in the story that we need to include? Well, it says that he was a bad friend. You may agree with that. It's not really being a good friend. But again, what is that called? It's called your opinion. So that does not need to be included in our summary. Next, Christoph's mom should have let Christoph keep the money his grandmother gave him. Well, how many of you feel like she should have kept the money? Maybe some of you, okay? But is that an event in the story that should be included, or is that an opinion? That sounds like an opinion to me. You may feel that way, but does not need to be included in the summary. Next, Christoph got special treatment from his teachers and friends. Was that something that happened because he lied that it was his birthday? Yep, that needs to be included in the summary. And last, right here, Christoph's grandmother gave him an idea. Christoph thought it was a great idea. Is that something that happened in the selection? It sure was, and we need to include that in there. We know in our summary that Christoph's grandmother gave him a great idea, and he thought it was a great idea. So he went to school, and what did he do? He told his teacher that it was his birthday when it really wasn't. And he got special treatment from his teachers and his friends all day long. So these are definitely important key details we would include. We would not include about how he made a bad choice, how he really wasn't being a very good friend, and that maybe his mom should have let him keep the money. These are all opinion statements that should not be included in our summary. Now, what you're going to do on your own, we've reviewed over what we need to have in our summary, is I've given you here 2 summaries for you to reread about Christoph. Now, based on what we learned about how we need to make sure that we have only the key details and our opinion does not need to be in it, you are going to go into your Google Forms here, okay? And I've given you, again, just the passage, so if you need to look back into it, it's also in your packet. Come up with a good title for this story of Christoph. I want to see what you guys can come up with. Choose which summary you think is the best. And after you have chosen that summary, which one you think is the best, please explain to me why. Why do you think summary 1 or summary 2 is the best? Please write in complete sentences for us so we can see that. Okay? One of these summaries is going to have some opinions in it. Remember, opinions are not to be kept in the summary. The last thing you're going to do for me is something we are going to take for a grade. Okay? So again, looking back at the story of Christoph, I want you guys to pull out the key details one more time for me. Who's our main character? What was this main character wanting to do? But what was his problem? So what did he decide to do to try to solve his problem? And then how did our story end? When you have finished that, please make sure you submit, and we will grade that for a reading grade for you. So as long as you're pulling out those key details, you should do fantastic. All right, friends. Well, I can't wait to see what you guys came up with. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask your teacher. I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.